I stand atop the frozen peaks of the Alps, my eyes fixed on the distant plains of Italy. The wind howls around me, a relentless chorus of nature's fury. My men, my elephants, they struggle behind me, but I am resolute. For in my veins flows the fire of vengeance, a sacred oath sworn to my father Hamilcar. I am Hannibal Barca, and I have come to bring Rome to its knees. They called it madness, those old men of Carthage, their minds dulled by gold and complacency. The Romans, in their arrogance, believed these mountains to be their eternal shield, but they do not know the power of a vow made in blood. I was but a child when my father bid me lay my hand upon the altar and swear eternal enmity to Rome. That moment has defined my every breath, every step of this impossible journey. The price we've paid is steep. The cold claims my men in their sleep, their frozen faces a grim testament to the mountain's cruelty. My war elephants, those great beasts of conquest, slip and fall into ravines, their mournful cries swallowed by the unforgiving wind. Yet, with each life lost, my resolve only hardens. This suffering is the crucible that forges our army into a weapon Rome has never seen. As we descend from these peaks, I feel the weight of destiny upon my shoulders. The fertile heart of our enemy lies before us, ripe for the taking. They expect us from the sea, a war fought by their rules. But I will give them something beyond their wildest nightmares. I will descend upon them like a god of vengeance, born from the very heavens they thought impenetrable. The years that follow are a symphony of triumph. At Trebia, at Trasimene, and finally at Cannae, I show the world the true art of war. The Romans come at us with their rigid formations, their unwavering belief in brute force. They do not understand that battle is a dance, a trap, a delicate balance of deception and timing. I let them push into our center, their pride swelling with each step. They believe victory is within their grasp, blind to the crescent moon of my flanks closing around them. When the trap is sprung, it is not merely a defeat. It is annihilation. 80,000 Romans, senators and consuls among them, perish in a single day. The blood-soaked fields of Cannae become a testament to my genius and Rome's folly. In the wake of this triumph, Italian cities begin to turn to us. My plan unfolds perfectly. The great republic bleeds, its invincibility shattered. I have given Rome its darkest hour, its most profound humiliation, and yet they refuse to yield. Their stubborn pride becomes my greatest enemy. The years grind on, and the fire of youth gives way to the weary patience of a long campaign. My army, once a finely honed blade, becomes a patchwork of mercenaries and defectors. We are no longer fighting Roman legions, but time itself. Hannibal, my trusted cavalry commander, was right. After Cannae, he urged me to march on Rome itself. In 5 days, he said, you shall feast in the capital. But I hesitated, lacking siege engines and fearing to exhaust my men further. It was a mistake born of pride. I did not wish to destroy their city. I wanted to break their will, to force them to surrender on my terms. But Rome does not play by the rules of ordinary foes. They adopt the tactics of Fabius the delayer, harrying my supply lines and refusing direct battle. I become a lion in a cage, able to ravage the countryside, but unable to strike at the heart of my enemy. And Carthage, my home, sends to little aid. Perhaps they fear my growing power, or perhaps they are too short-sighted to see the true stakes of this war. The victories become fewer, the losses more painful. When my brother Hasdrubal's head is thrown into my camp, his army destroyed in an attempt to reinforce me, I know our fortunes have turned. A new name begins to echo from the south, Scipio. a young Roman general who has studied my tactics, who dares to strike not at my army, but at the very shores of North Africa. He is a shadow of my own reflection, a brilliant mind trained for the sole purpose of defeating me. After 15 years in Italy, I am forced to return home. As I stand on the deck of a Carthaginian ship, watching the familiar white walls of my city come into view, I feel no joy, only a sense of foreboding. I return not as a conquering hero, but as the last hope of a besieged people. The Roman fleet blocks our harbor, their legions camp outside our gates. My dream of Rome's destruction has brought war to our very doorstep. My seasoned veterans are few. My new army a motley collection of mercenaries and raw recruits. They lack the fire forged in the cold of the Alps and the heat of 100 battles. The elders of Carthage, once so dismissive of my ambitions, now beg me to make peace. But I know Scipio will offer none. He is my antithesis, a man driven by the humiliation I have inflicted upon his nation. We meet once before the final battle, two masters of war acknowledging each other as equals. There is respect between us, a shared understanding of the burden we carry. But he is Roman, and Romans do not know mercy. Our fate will be decided not on a battlefield of my choosing, but on the sands of Zama, within sight of the city I swore to protect. As I survey the field on that fateful day, I see the genius in Scipio's formation. He has learned from my victories, turning my own tactics against me. My elephants, once the terror of Italy, are rendered useless by cleverly placed lanes in the Roman lines. My Numidian cavalry, the very force that won me Cannae, has been swayed to his side. The battle is brutal, a clash of two titans of war. But this is not the conflict I trained for, not the Romans I knew how to defeat. This is a new era, a new kind of enemy forged in the fires of adversity I myself had stoked. I watch as my army disintegrates, as the dream I have pursued for decades shatters on these dusty plains. In the end, I am forced to flee. The victor's name will be Scipio Africanus, the defeated Hannibal Barca. The greatest battle of my life becomes my greatest failure. Carthage is crippled, our navy given to Rome, our future bound in eternal tribute. I am no longer a general, but a broken man without a country. I wander from court to court, a ghost of former glories, offering my services, but always carrying the same burning hatred in my heart. They say I took my own life with poison to escape Roman capture. Perhaps I did. My life had become a monument to a lost cause, a dream that burned brightly but was finally extinguished. I kept my father's vow. I was an enemy of Rome until my last breath, but in my failure I ensured their rise. The war I began to save Carthage instead gave birth to the Roman Empire. I was the stone in their path, and by breaking me, they became stronger. So here I stand, an old man, a general without an army, a king without a kingdom. My name is Hannibal Barca, and my life is the story of a vengeance that consumed everything: my nation, my family, and finally, myself. In seeking to destroy Rome, I forged it into an unstoppable force. My legacy is not the empire I sought to build, but the one I inadvertently created through my own defeat.